Achha, you appeared for PM only. Very good. Others were exempt. Very good. Very good. Class number 1, advanced taxation. And today is 10th March 2023. Okay. Now, if we start, then so basically, you must have, all of you, since all of you are either from the ACCA background or from the CA background, so you must have studied tax at some point in your life. Yes or no? Yes. All of you have studied tax at some point in your life. So there is, in taxation, there are a few things, right? One is that, taxation, tax is collected by the government. Yes, government collects your tax. So first of all, government will never let revenue loss happen. So whenever you'll see any, anything like any law which is made by the government as far as taxation is concerned, you'll see that they will always try and avoid the revenue loss. They'll always try and avoid any revenue loss, right? Number two, they will never ever double tax you. Double taxation is not there. Okay, they will not tax you twice for anything. So these are basic concepts. First of all, government will never let revenue loss happen, which means if tax is due, government will have a provision for it. So always remember that, because when you are talking about ATX exam, ATX exam is not your usual taxation paper, right? At ATX level, you have to be an advisor. You have to be an advisor to your client. Okay. So at ATX level, you'll see that most of the questions that will come, more often than not, they'll be in the form of some advisory that you'll be giving to your client, right? And a least amount of calculation will be there. So calculation part is very less. Calculation part is less at ATX level. Okay. So first of all, these are the basic principles. Then you have to act as an advisor, and calculation part is very less. So don't focus more on calculation, focus more on advisory part. Is that clear? Yes. All of you. Okay. Fine. Now let's look at your syllabus. Just give me a minute so I can put the syllabus part. Just 1 minute, please. Let me open the syllabus part. Okay. Do you guys know where to find the resources for all your exams? Apart from books, everything else you can find on the ACCA website. Have you guys ever tried to go on the ACCA website? Okay. Let me take you to the ACCA website since you guys have not done that. Okay. Can you see my screen? Yes. Okay. What you need to do is type ACCA Global, ACCA. So if you type this much, accaglobal.com, enter, you reach this page, ACCA, think ahead logo and all. So all of this will be there, right? Okay, I think there was some issue, internet lag. Okay, now what you can do, you can select the ACCA qualification. You can select the ACCA qualification and we'll go ahead with that. And here you'll have all the subjects. So we can select advanced taxation. If you want to look for any other subject, you'll get it over here. So we'll go to advanced taxation and then there is lot of resources are there. So first of all, you want to know what is the pass percentage. So the last results that came were in December 2022 and 39% of the students who appeared, they passed. Okay. So which means if dealt with well, if prepared well, and if you are able to do what is required is lots and lots of question practice and exam practice. So if you're able to do that, this is a fairly fairly simple question. It's a fairly simple exam. So if you can see, consistently 40% of the students are passing. So if I take out an average of the last 5 attempts, if I take out the average of, what is the average of the last 5 attempts? 37, 43 and 39. Then divided by 5. So it's coming to somewhere around 40%. So on an average, 40% students are passing the exam, 60% are not passing this exam. So yes, obviously it's a professional level exam. It is an ACCA exam. So there will be a large number of people that will not pass the exam, but this is fair enough. I think this is fair enough that almost 40% of the students are able to pass the exam. Yes or no? Do you think this is a fair pass rate? But this is one single subject. Okay. So I think it is fair enough, right? As far as passing is concerned. So this is a good subject. All of you have chosen a good subject in many ways. First of all, there's a lot of work that is coming to India. As far as if you are in which company you are in, Neeraj or someone was there in some accounting firm. Who was that? QX. So if you look at QX, you will find a lot of work is coming to India. And a lot of that work is outsourced work. And a lot of taxation work is coming to India. Right? Because obviously, because of the cost advantages, and there's no other reason why this work is coming to India. There is cost advantage. Skill is there, and ACCA is also trying to make upskill the country more and more. So I think you guys have chosen a good subject which has a good rate of passing, as well as there is good chance of getting some sort of employment. But I think most of you are already employed. Is there anyone who's not yet employed? And it's okay when it's fine. Is there anyone who's not yet employed? I think chartered accountants are already employed. Surbhi and one more person is there. Surbhi and one more CA is there, na? Apart from Surbhi, who's the one who's a CA? Surbhi is working with Exxon. Neha. Okay. Neha, you are working with or you're not working? Okay, let's look at the syllabus. So what I'll do is IT company Highland Software. Very good. Okay, rest of the resources we'll go through some other day. But firstly, let's go on and understand your syllabus and how the paper is going to be. Okay. So this is your guide. This is one of the most important documents. One of the most important documents as far as your exam is concerned. As far as your exam is concerned, this is the most important document. One good thing has happened in the past to other P-level papers, and now it has come to ATX as well, that now you've got 20 marks of professional, 20 marks which are professional marks. So there are a few things that you need to keep in mind, and you can easily score these 20 marks. We'll talk about them as well, right? Structure of the qualification and all, you already know about this. Yes or no? Yes. The structure of the qualification. So you've got, first of all, applied knowledge level. Then you've got applied skill level at which you have taxation, PM, AA, corporate law, financial reporting, and financial management. Okay. Then you've got strategic professional level, where you've got two essential papers, SBL and SBR. Is there anyone who's done SBL? Yes. Is there anyone who's done SBL? Yes, you've done SBL. Munna. Munna has done SBL. So if you look at SBL, there is an ethics part over there. Now, this ethics part also comes to the taxation exam, and these are very easy marks for you to score. As far as ATX is concerned, ethics and the 20 professional marks are very, very easy marks. Okay. Then there is advanced audit and assurance, and there is advanced financial management, there is advanced performance management, and there is advanced taxation. Now they say that you complete the ethics and professional skills module. So this module is going to help you in the ethics part, because 5 marks are for ethics. So around 20 marks are for the professional skills and 5 are ethics marks. So very easy 25 marks to get. Okay. Now, which subject, it will actually depend on where you want to take your, where you want to make develop an understanding. Suppose you've chosen ATX. Have you already chosen ATX, Surbhi? Or you've already chosen? So if you want to work in international taxation, right, which is a very vast field, right? Whenever you get a chance to go abroad, for example, UK or Malaysia, Singapore, or Europe, you'll see that this one ATX paper is going to give you a lot of employability with companies. So yes, you can choose ATX. You can also choose AFM and APM. But AFM, generally, if I talk about from the point of view of India, right, there's not a lot of jobs which are specifically there for the AFM candidates. But AFM is a good paper. It gives you good knowledge. If you go abroad, then again, your employability chances are quite high. Look at APM. Again, APM is again someone who loves costing and who loves performance management. I would say go for APM, right? And then there is AAA, which I don't deal with, but I deal with AA. I have been an auditor with PwC for 4 years, so I know how audit is done. So if you are fond of auditing and all, you can choose AAA. My funda in life is always that if you want to pass a paper, pick a paper which you think will be easiest to pass. For example, for me, APM was easiest to pass because I always had costing, and ATX was obviously ATX has a bigger pass percentage. So my funda in life was very simple, that I'm going to choose the papers either which I think is easy to pass or which is genuinely easy to pass. So ATX has one of the highest pass percentage. So I chose it and I passed. Okay. Right. Surbi, am I able to answer your question? So one thing is for sure, please keep giving me feedback. That's our, this is where, I think you should find out more, or this is where you should, you know, because that would be a better system if you give me feedback. So see, CA Surbi. Surbi ma'am, have I been able to? Did you study from Surbi Bansal ma'am? She was also CA Surbi Bansal. Yes, she's the audit teacher. Yes, CA Surbi Bansal ma'am is the audit teacher. Okay. Her book is very famous. Her book is very famous even in CA Inter and CA Final both. Now, exam structure. So there are few things which if you are able to understand well. First of all, there will be some skills with every question that will be evaluated. For example, and they'll tell you which skill we are trying to evaluate. For example, communication. For example, analysis and evaluation. Skepticism, commercial acumen. Okay. Now, so these are professional skills, and there are 20 marks if you are able to demonstrate these professional skills. Then there is 5 marks for ethics. Let's come to exam structure. So exam is a 3-hour, 15-minute examination. So how many marks are there? It's a 100-mark exam. How many minutes do you have? Yes, tell me, how many minutes do you have? So 3 hours and 15 minutes means 195 minutes, right? So 195 upon 100. So how many minutes do you have per question? Yes, how many minutes do you have per question? Per mark, sorry. Per mark, how many minutes do you have? So you've got around 1.95 minutes per mark. So if I give you a 10-mark question, you should ideally do it. Now, generally, I remove this 15 minutes for reading the paper, right? So even then, it comes to 180 minutes for 100 marks. So that makes it 1.8 minutes per mark. So if I give you a 10-mark question, how long should you take? Approximately 18 minutes. If you are not able to do it in 18 minutes, leave it and go to the other question, because you exceeded the time allocated to that particular question. Okay. So always keep this in mind. Very, very important. If it's a 10 marker, calculate this much time I have to allocate. Once done, once the time is up, move on to the other question. Okay. Section. So your exam will have 2 sections. One is section A, other is section B. Section A is going to have a case study worth 50 marks, and it will test multiple taxes. The 50 marks will comprise of 35 technical marks, 5 ethics marks, and 10 professional skills marks. Okay. So you're going to be tested out of this 50 marks, right? 35 marks are going to be purely technical, which means whatever you study, on the basis of that, they are going to ask you. Then 5 marks are going to be ethics marks. So something about ethics they are going to ask you, and you have to write in that question about, there are ICOPP, 5 principles of ethics, fundamental principles. I'll teach you that. So once you know them, you can attempt questions, you can try questions and get those 5 marks. Very important. We are always looking at the bigger chunk of something, but if you can add up these marks, then 10 marks are professional skills marks. So 10 plus 5, right? 15 marks out of 50 is your something which is non-technical marks. This is technical. This is non-technical. Okay. Yes. That clear? Now, section B, it is going to have 225 marks questions. Okay. And out of this, 20 will be technical marks. Technical. And 5 marks each for non-technical, right? Which will evaluate you on your professional marks. That is, could be analysis, professional skepticism, evaluation, commercial acumen, anything. So from this 25, there will be 2 case studies in section B. 20 marks are technical, 5 marks each are non-technical. Again, 10 non-technical marks. So you've got 15 and 5 is 10. 15 and 5. 15 and 10 is 25 and 5. 30 marks out of your entire this thing. So again, this is a very good opportunity, and that is why the ATX will have a higher pass percentage because of a lot of things. This technical marks and all non-technical marks have been added, I think, from this attempt onwards. But even before this, ATX was a very high scoring paper. Okay. We'll move on to the syllabus area now. What exactly do they want you to test on? Do they want to test you on? But before that, what I'll do is I'll just take a small break. I need to get some water, some warm water for myself. You guys also can take a 5-minute break. We'll be back. Okay. Yes. Okay. Are you guys back? Okay. Very good. Okay. So few things that they want to test you on. First of all, how well is your understanding of their tax systems by studying? So basic topics, we will either do them very, very quickly, or we'll try and, tell you that you do this basic topic from your F6 part, because obviously this is advanced taxation. I cannot cover 2 subjects in the time frame given for 1 subject. I hope all of you understand that. Yes. So I'll tell you what you should study and come, because otherwise you'll not understand. Okay. Rest, if there is anything, I will try and cover it in the class itself. So you need to understand the tax through the study of more advanced topics within the taxes studied previously and study of stamp taxes, right? Next is impact of relevant taxes on various situations and courses of action, including interaction of the taxes. So how various different taxes will interact. Then minimizing or deferring any tax liability. So you have certain, reliefs are there. For example, there is a relief called as gift relief, which will keep deferring your tax liability. So we will also study about these reliefs, which you can use as tools to defer your tax liability and do your tax planning. Professional skills, obviously, you will need to understand these. You'll need to use these. Okay. Fine. Yes. Moving on to the syllabus part. So first of all, we've got knowledge and understanding of the tax system through study of advanced topics. Income tax liabilities involving further overseas aspects in relation to trust and the application of additional exemption and relief. Chargeable gains, very important. Inheritance tax, again, very, very important. All of this we are going to study. Then corporation tax, very important. So they're going to test you on 2-3 very major topics, which is groups. Groups is a very important topic as far as ATX is concerned. which is a very quite a major topic. Okay. Then you've got stamp taxes. VAT is again very important. So one question of ATX will, the 50 mark question will always have one question from group, one from VAT, and one from capital gains or some other part, which is again very, very important. So then what is the impact of relevant taxes on various situations and courses of action? What are the taxes applicable? Alternative ways of achieving personal or business outcomes may lead to different tax consequences. Taxation effects of financial decisions. So you need to evaluate, whether you need to get incorporated in UK or you can work from outside, right? Also, sometimes, a lot of cash flow you'll have to consider, right? Because using tools, you can defer your cash liability or tax liabilities. Tax advantages or disadvantages, statutory obligations. So what are the penalties and all? What are the time limits for payment and everything? So we will be going through that as well. Then minimizing by doing certain investments. So there are some certain like BADR is there, business asset disposal relief, or IR, investor relief is there. So you can use these things to advise your client. Okay. Types of investments and expenditure that will result in a reduction in tax liabilities for an individual or a business. Then legitimate tax planning measures by which the tax liabilities arising from particular situation or course of action can be mitigated. Then appropriateness of such investment, expenditure or measures given a particular taxpayer circumstances or stated objectives. Then mitigation of tax in the manner recommended by reference to numerical analysis and reasoned arguments, right? So how can you mitigate the tax? But you have to give good reason, not that you have to do something illegal, right? There is a difference between tax planning and tax evasion. Tax planning is how you use the law to plan your taxes. Okay. Ethical and professional issues that we are going to study. And then professional skills of communication, analysis, evaluation, skepticism, and commercial acumen. Okay. Please, all of you, go to ACCA Global and download this. Go to ACCA Global and download this part, because this is again one of the most important parts. Is that clear? Yes. Can you? I just showed you how to download this. In fact, I'll send it to you. Let me send it in the chat box only. In the notes, you'll get this, but I'm sending you right now in the chat box itself. So you can download from this chat box. Okay, I'm not able to send it, but I just showed you. Go to accaglobal.com, global.com, then go to study students, then study support resources. Study support resources, then select your study support resources, then select your subject, and then there'll be a section of syllabus. So you can go there, put in UK, right? Whenever you are asked which exam are you taking, which country's exam. So because tax is a country specific exam, so put in UK over there. Okay. So all of you can follow this path. Use this website. Yes, is that clear? All of you, everyone, is it clear, people? Very good. Very good. Okay. Just 1 minute. You guys, in the meantime, you can go and check the website. Please take 2 minutes and check the website. Yes, did anyone check it? Did anyone check? Go to ACCA Global. Anyone did? Could you find this resource over there? Yes, guys, please go to accaglobal.com. Try downloading that syllabus. Please, people, Manan, Munna, Neeraj, Surbhi, and Neha. Please try doing it and then tell me, are you able to do it? Okay. Munna is checking. Manan is also checking. Then are you able to download? Okay, very good. If you're able to do it, very, very good. So let me start. Okay, can you all see my screen? Everyone? So we'll be starting with corporations tax. This is a bit different from what you have in your BPP books. Don't worry. Don't, freak out. We are going to cover each and everything, right? Don't get scared. Sir, what are you doing? This is there in our book and all that. Don't worry. They're going to cover each and everything. Okay. In detail. Okay. Just give me 1 minute. Hanji. Sorry, my throat is really bad today. So we'll try and see how much we can go on. Okay, starting with the corporation tax liability, everyone. Okay, all of you, are you there? Focused? Yes. Can we start? Okay. So any company which is a resident in UK, so if you are registered in UK, you are working in UK, so we are going to calculate UK tax, corporation tax liability, right? There are two types of taxes. One is a personal tax liability. Second is the corporation tax liability. Now the rates of tax are different. For a person, for personal tax, there are slabs, which means till 37,700, you have to pay 20% tax. Beyond 37,700, you have to pay beyond 37,700, you have to pay 40% tax. Up to 1,50,000 and beyond 1,50,000, you have to pay 45% tax. 45% of tax you'll have to pay, right? So this is the personal tax. But when we take corporation tax, there is a fixed rate of tax which is 19%. Okay. One thing is for sure, across the world, if you see, what do governments encourage? By doing this, what are the governments encouraging? So if you look at individual, right? Can an individual set off his expenses? If you look at an individual, can this individual set off his all of his expenses? Yes or no? In his taxable income, can he set off his expenses? Yes or no? No. Individual cannot. Only specific expenses he can set off. And he is charged at the highest rate, 45%. Individual is charged at the highest rate. Even if you look at India, all the chartered accountants, you must be knowing that even in India, individual is charged at the highest rate. Yes. But if you look at corporations, typically around the world, public and private corporations or private company. If you look at typically around the world, in UK, there is a flat rate of 19%. No capital gain, nothing. Even if you buy and sell properties, we'll tax you at 19% only. If you look at India, what is the corporation tax rate in India? Yes. My dear chartered accountants, I'm asking. What is the minimum corporation tax in India? Not 30%. It's not 30%. For startup companies, the Indian government goes as low, if you don't take depreciation and all, they will go as low as 17%. So governments around the world, and that is why you'll see a lot of companies are set up in UK, because you can take capital allowances and still pay just 19% tax. Look at Singapore. What is the tax rate in Singapore? Yes, what is the tax rate in Singapore? So a lot of wealthy individuals, if you look at, people like Anil Ambani. Have you heard his name? Yes or no? Have you heard his name? Donald Trump. And a few others. They have declared themselves as, yes, what do they declare themselves as? Can someone tell me? Let's see who knows. What do they declare themselves as? Donald Trump, Anil Ambani, what do they declare themselves as? And they are people who are the richest. No, they declare themselves bankrupt. These guys, they say that we are bankrupt. We've got no money, no taxes. No money means no taxes. No income means no taxes. And yet they will own so many assets. Anil Ambani has got 18 companies registered in UK. 18 companies. So many entities he's got himself registered. So across the world, if you see that, a corporation will always pay way less tax, and the corporation will earn first. So as an individual, what do? You first pay tax. How many of you are getting salaries? Yes, how many of you are getting salaries? I am one of them. So what do? Before even earning, we pay our taxes. But that is not the case with corporations. Corporations will first earn, then spend. We will pay tax, then earn, and then we will spend. But corporations will earn, spend, and then pay tax. And that is why you'll see that the smartest of people, they will not have assets in their own name. They will have assets in the name of the companies. They will have assets in the name of their corporations. Okay. So, and this is a phenomena across the world. Right? An individual will always be taxed more. Okay. Now, so corporation tax liability, it will be calculated on TTP. TTP is taxable total profits, right? In their accounting period. So accounting period is a period of 12 months. We'll come to accounting period. We'll study about it. TTP is all the income excluding the dividend received and plus any chargeable gain. net chargeable gain, which is chargeable loss minus the gain, right? Qualifying and minus the QCD. QCD is large corporate donations which are given to charities. Okay. Companies corporation tax liability is calculated how? By applying the appropriate rate of corporation tax to the TTP. So how will you determine? You will say TTP multiplied by 19%. This 19% has not changed in a lot of time. Okay. Yes. Are you guys able to understand till this point? Very good. Now coming to accounting period. So if you look at an individual, right? Individual does not have an accounting period. What does an individual have? Yes, can someone tell me? Individual does not have an accounting period. What does individual have? Dividends are not chargeable for companies. Dividends are not taxable. So they are taxed differently. For companies, if you are receiving dividends, that is not part of your corporation tax liability. So typically individual will be taxed in a tax year, which runs from 5th of April to 6th of April to 5th of April. Individual will be taxed in a tax year. But it is not the case with companies. Companies are given more flexibilities. Apart from India, every government in the world, take US, you take UK, you take any European government, they all have the concept of accounting period. But do we have a concept of accounting period in India for companies? Yes or no? Do we have a concept of accounting period for companies in India? Yes. Every company has to prepare its accounts from April to March. 1st of April to 31st of March. Right? But corporations across the world, right? Across the world, corporations have the flexibility. Across the world, they have the flexibility to pay tax on the basis of their accounting period. Right? So accounting period is a period for which charge to corporation tax is made. So you are only taxed on your profits during your accounting period, made usually for 12 months. So it's a 12-month period. No problem with that. April to March is also 12-month period. But the flexibility of choosing your own accounting period, it is not there in the Indian taxation. But across the world, you'll find the flexibility of choosing your own accounting period. It has to be 12 months. It can be shorter or longer than 12 months. But if it is shorter or longer, then different rules will apply. We'll see. Right? Now, if your accounting period is greater than 12 months, what will happen? So if your AP, if your AP is greater than 12 months, then what will happen? Then you have to bifurcate it in two. You have to bifurcate it in 2 years. One is yes. So split into two corporation tax accounting periods. So two accounting periods will be there. First accounting period will be 12 months. And the next second accounting period is going to be the remainder of the period. Okay. Next is going to be the remainder of the period. Is that clear? Yes. So if your accounting period is greater than 12 months, then first 12 months, and then whatever is the next one is will be the shorter accounting period. Okay. So this is a typical, UK or US style where you allow flexibility to the companies. It's not in Indian style. It is not the Indian style of taxation. Do you think Indian taxation is rigid? How many? So people who have studied Indian taxation, do you think it is rigid? Do you think it is rigid? Yes or no? Indian taxation, is it rigid? And if you don't think it is rigid, then by the time you finish ATX, you'll be saying that, Indian taxation is a very rigid system. Okay. So AP will start when company will start to trade. So there are three things. First, when the company starts to trade. Second, profits become liable to corporation tax. So when does your AP starts? Firstly, when you start to trade, or when your profits become liable to corporation tax, or your previous AP has ended. So if you look at this timeline, look at the timeline. So your previous AP, say it was from 1st of July 2022 to 30th of June 2023. Right. So your first previous AP has ended over here. Your AP starts from next date. AP starts from, so here, what date will the AP start? Yes. Just give me a minute. Tell me what date will the AP start, please, everyone. Yes. What date will the AP start from? AP starts from which date? Hanji, please. Only one answer I have, please. So it starts from 1st of July 2023. It starts from 1st of July 2023. So three things, three conditions. First of all, AP will start when you start to trade. Secondly, when your company becomes liable to corporation tax or the previous AP ends. Okay. So generally, you'll start to trade only then your company becomes liable to corporation tax. So your AP will generally start when you start to trade. Okay. When will the AP end? AP will end at the earliest of these four. Firstly, 12 months after it started, right? Or when the period of account ends. When the company ceases to trade. Suppose you started on 1st of July 2022, but you stopped trading on 31st of October 2022. So in this case, your AP ends on 31st. So it's a short AP, right? Either it is going to be 12 months, longer AP, okay, shorter AP when your company ceases to trade, or when your company commences or ceases the administration or winding up proceedings. So what is administration or winding up? Can someone tell me? If you studied F4 law, then you'll be knowing. Otherwise also you'll be knowing. What is winding up? How can you cease to trade and then again start trading? Then you have not, it will not be considered ceasing to trade. Ceasing to trade means khatam, over, halas. Company in liquidation means that now, absolutely, all of you are right. So liquidation means that now your basically your assets are not enough to pay. Your assets are not enough to pay for your liabilities, and that you need to be liquidated now. Okay. So your assets are not enough to pay your liabilities, and that you now need to be liquidated, so that now we can carry on the liquidation proceedings. Okay. New company has to notify HMRC within 3 months of the start of your first. If you are a new company, right, you have to tell HMRC that we have started business, that you have started business within the 3 months of the start of the AP. Why do you think new company has to do this? Yes. Why do you think new company has to do this? Tell me. You have not earned profit, but have you started trading? Even if you earn profit, but you are not liable to corporation tax, then if you've started trading, then your AP will start. Your AP starts as soon as you start trading, right? And end will be the earliest of 12 months, or end of AP, or when the company ceases to trade, or when there is liquidation. Okay, when you started with liquidation. New company has to notify HMRC. So that their name is registered in HMRC. Okay. So what happens is that, there are many companies that are going on. So HMRC might not know. So just to tell HMRC that, we have started the company. Generally, they will have they will have their tie-ups with companies house. So they know that these companies have started. Okay. There is separate obligation to notify HMRC of chargeability. Now, of your establishment, you have to tell the HMRC. But your chargeability, that now you are chargeable to tax, there is a separate provision for that. You have to tell the HMRC within 12 months from the end of your period of account. Whenever your period of account ends, so from there you have 12 months to tell the HMRC that, see, sir, what has happened is that we have we started business and now we are taxable. So please, we'll be filing our tax returns now, and whatever, you have to give a letter to the HMRC. So that will, is this clear? Is that clear, all of you? Anji. Okay, so got an example for you. Just try doing this without the solution. Okay. try doing this without the solution, please. Solution is there in front of you, but it will be better if you do it without the solution. I'm giving you 2 minutes, so please do this. Let me see how you guys interpret this and how you answer this, please. Neeraj, how did you come to that answer? So you're already preparing your financial statements to 31st of December. Okay. You're already preparing into 31st of December every year. You want to change to 30th of April. So you are preparing to from 1st to 1st Jan to 31st of 31st of December. So you're already preparing to from 1st Jan to 31st of December. Now you want to extend it to 30th of April. So how many months does it make? 12 months over here and 4 months over here. So it is a 16-month accounting period. Now this 16 month has to be divided between 12 months and 4 months. So there will be 2 AP, first 12 month and then 4 month. If two sets of financial statements are prepared, then AP will be the same as financial statements. So one set financial statement covering 16 months, or if they are preparing two sets of financial statement covering 4 months, first of all to 30th April, and then 12 months to 30th April 2022, right? So they'll break it first 4 months and then 12 months. So exactly it will be the same as the financial statements. Yes. Right. Okay. Another example is there. When you are ceasing to do business on cessation. So ZW Limited has been trading for many years with 30th June year end. Due to recent financial difficulties, it was decided that company should be wound up. It ceased trading on 31st December 2019 and 30th April 2020. Winding up commenced. Winding up was completed on 31st March 2021. State one. State the dates of ZW Limited's accounting period from 1st July onwards. Yes. Answer this. Yes. Please start sending your answers. It has to be wound up. They ceased trading on 31st December 2019. And 30th April, winding up commenced. So winding up was completed on 31st March 2021. So there are 4 dates that you need to see. What are it ends on 12 months when the company ceases to trade, and then when the winding up commence or you cease the winding up proceeding. So whatever is the earliest. So what is the earliest in this case? So till the date of cessation, and then immediately after the previous AP until commencement of the winding up proceedings, or 1st May 2022 and 1st May 2022 31st March 2021 until the completion of winding up proceeding. From 1st July, so first of all, 1st July to 30, so 6 months. Then 1st January to 30th April, Jan, Feb, March, April, 4 months. And then 1st May to 31st March 2021, which is how many months? May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December, January, February, March. 9 to 11. 11 months. So for this purpose, we will ignore the 30th June year end, because now 1st July to 31st December, earliest is when you cease to trade, right? And after that, it will all be on the winding up basis, right? Yes. So your account should end. Accounts as per whatever till the date you are not ceasing. So on the date you cease to trade, so it ends. After that, it is all winding up basis. Winding up means till the commencement, till the start of your winding up, and then till the completion of your winding up. Okay. Yes. Yes. Is this clear or not? So your main accounts will end on 31st December. See, what happens is that, see, AP will end on the earliest of 12 months end of period of account, or when the company ceases to trade. So your company will cease to trade. Company ceasing to trade on what date? You are ceasing to trade on 31st December 2019. So your accounts will end when you cease to trade. Okay. That is your earliest period. But you are still going on till the commencement of the winding up. So next is your commencement or ceasing of winding up. So what is earlier? Commencement of winding up. So from 1st January to 30th April, commencement of winding up. And then from 1st of May to the last cease of winding up. Munna, is that clear? Munna. So, okay, let me draw a timeline. Maybe then it will be more clear. See. Now, this is, so it will be earliest of the dates, either 12 months or when your period of account ends or when you cease to trade. So 1st of July to 31st of December. So earliest dated is 31st of December. After that, what will happen? Up to commencement of winding up or completion of winding. So commencement of winding up happens at what date? Which date does the commencement of winding up happens? Yes, look at this. 30th April 2020, right? So if you look at this, 30th of April, and then when does it end? 31st of, so winding up was completed on 31st of March 2021. Then 31st of March 2021. So this is your then first AP, then this is your second AP, and then this is your last AP. Okay. This is the last AP of the company. Yes. Now let's take a break. Be back. So accounting period is now 12 months. I told you, no? In which chapter these details and meaning of accounting period mentioned? No, there is no details. I'm going to tell you what is accounting period. Accounting period is a period for which you prepare the accounts. So for this, again, you need to go back to F6 and study. Manan. Manan, what is your background? Can you quickly tell me? What is your background, beta? You can unmute and speak, but I'll have to allow you to unmute and speak. Manan, what is your background? Quickly tell me. So if you've not done F6, I recommend that, for certain things, you can go back to F6 and read over there. Okay, you've been in practice for 11 years. So obviously then you've not studied F6. So I recommend that you go to F6 and just have a look at these things. Accounting period is what? The period for which you make the accounts. Okay. So this is your accounting period. Accounting period is the period for which you've made the accounts. F6 is taxation. It's a skill level subject. Manan, you've been chartered accountant in practice for past 11 years. Where do you practice? Delhi. And Delhi. Very good. Very good. Very nice. Good, good. Good to see chartered accountants coming up and, enhancing their knowledge with these subjects, advanced taxation and all. But it's teaching P-level students is the most difficult because they're all qualified students. Most of your chartered accountants. So, but it's good. It's a challenge. It keeps the teacher on their toes. Okay, you want to work outside India. Very good. One of my students, she went to London and she's got a job there. She's doing well. She's also, trying to build up a tax practice there in London. Let's see how she does. And probably you can also go to London. London or Europe or somewhere out of India. This is a good thing. Okay, let's take a break, 20 minutes, and then come back. Okay, let's meet at 7:50, right? Yes. Let's take a 20 minutes break and come back. Just give me 2 more minutes. My iPad is all out of charge. Let me charge it and then we can start. Yes, Manan. Tell me. Tell me, Manan. No, you don't need to. If whenever you feel confused with something, generally I try to teach in a way that I'm covering almost everything. If you feel confused or if I am not able to answer your question, then you can go to F6 and study. But to attempt the paper, get marks, pass in this paper, you don't need to go through F6. Okay. Most of my students who are chartered accountants, they rarely go through F6. So you don't need to go through F6. If you do need to go through for a particular topic, I will tell you about it. Don't worry. Okay. So now, how do you calculate the corporation tax? Let's go through the pro forma. Okay, can you guys see this pro forma? Yes, can you see the pro forma? All of you? So firstly, we'll calculate. Firstly, we're going to calculate trading profits, then interest income, not visible. Just a minute. Is it visible now? Very good. So trading profits, add interest income, add property income. Property income generally is rental. Okay. Then add any other miscellaneous income, then net chargeable gains. So generally what happens in Indian taxes is that companies are charged to chargeable gains at the same rate as individual. Yes or no? All the people who studied Indian tax. But in UK, what happens is that companies are not asked to calculate a separate tax liability. Instead, their total profits will be increased by the chargeable gains, and then we come to the total profits minus QCD, and this QCD is the gross amount. So I'll tell you what is a gross amount. Gross amount. Does anyone has any idea about grossing up? Anyone has an idea about grossing up? So what happens is that suppose your charitable donation is say 4,000. Okay, right? But your QCD, so this will be considered as net. For reduction from this, you will have to pay gross QCD. What is gross QCD? So this 4,000 is considered to be net. How do you gross it up? You divide it by 81%. So how much is it? Because 19% is your tax. Remember, 19% is the tax amount. So 4,000 divided by whatever is the tax amount. So it becomes 4938. Generally, how do you gross it up? You divide it by 80%. So it becomes 5,000. Okay. Becomes 5,000. This is how gross and net funda is there. Okay. Is that clear? Yes. Is this clear? Grossing up. This is the gross and net funda. So what you do is you less, if you've paid 4,000, you less 5,000. Then we arrive at your TTP. From your TTP, you multiply 19% to get your corporation tax liability minus double taxation relief, right? So we'll study about double taxation relief in chapter 5. But what happens is double taxation relief is typically if you've already paid tax in a country which is recognized. So the government is going to give you double taxation relief. But what we'll do, we first calculate tax on your entire income across the globe. Okay, and then we will give you double taxation relief. If you paid tax, we'll give you a relief. Is that clear? Yes. So first we take your entire income. Yes, dividend is exempt and hence it is not a chargeable thing. Okay. Now, what is the due date? So it is 9 months and 1 day after the end of AP. It is the due date for corporation tax payment. When do you need to file your returns? You need to file 12 months after the end of AP. Okay. Due date for payment. For payment, it is 9 days and 9 months and 1 day. Unless you are a large company, in which case you'll pay by installments. But filing date is 12 months after the end of period of account. Okay. Now, trading profits, interest income, and property business profits include income from overseas sources as well. So first we'll take all your income, global income is taken, and then we'll give you double taxation relief. All the income is included in the computation, which is gross. Now one thing will happen. Sir, what will happen? Problem is going to be that suppose you are taxed at 5% in the country where you have earned that income. You are taxed at 5%. Here you are taxed at 19%. So your relief will be how much? Only 5%. So how much are you losing? 14%. Okay. Then QCD will include all the donations to charity by the company. So there are small donations which are allowed as trading expense. So that will not include. All the other donations will be there in QCD. Is this clear, all of you? So this is rate of tax in UK. Suppose this is rate of tax in Ghana or UAE. But because you are a UK company in Dubai, just 1 minute, I'll share the notes, don't worry. Just understand. Okay, I'll give you 2 minutes to make the notes. So rate of tax is 19% in UK. So what we'll do, we'll first calculate 19%. Suppose you earn 1 lakh. So 19,000 is your income. 5% we are going to give you double taxation relief. But yet you are going to lose how much? 14% you are going to lose. Okay. So this is the implication. Now you can make a note. I request all of you to make a note of this entire computation. Please make a note of this entire computation. I'm giving you 2 minutes. All of you, please. Neeraj, is this clear? 19%, 5%, 14%. No. See what happens. Okay. Just 1 minute before you make a. Suppose your income in Dubai, income in UK is 10 lakh or 1 million. Income in Dubai is 1 lakh. Tax is 5%. So how much of tax would you pay in Dubai? Yes, how much tax would you pay in Dubai? 5,000. You're going to pay 5,000 tax on this, right? There's a separate chapter for that. We'll go ahead. We'll do that. That which companies are taken for this or not. Munna, don't worry. We are going to pay 5,000. But when we do your calculation in UK, what we are going to do is plus 1 lakh. So total income is 1.1 million. Your tax will be how much? How much is the tax? Calculate on 11 lakh. What is the tax on 11 lakh? Please calculate. Hey, come on, how much time are you guys taking? Use calculator. 2,09,000. Yes or no? Right? Which means on this 10 lakh, how much tax have you paid? 1,90,000. And on this, you are paying 19,000. Now I'm going to give you double taxation relief, which is 5,000. You've paid 5,000. Take this double taxation relief. Your net taxation is going to be 2,04,000. So out of this 19,000, I've given you 5,000 relief. But you are still paying 14,000 more. Yes or no? You're still paying 14,000 more. Yes. So that is what exactly. So there's a loss, right? If on your global income, you are incurring a loss, if the rate of tax in that country is lesser than the rate of tax in your own country. Okay. Clear? Then obviously, then the DTA, then obviously you'll be given the double taxation relief and your taxation is going to come down. So there are rules for that. There are rules for that. Okay. Now you can make a note of this and this. First make a note of this and then we'll go on. No, there is no exemption list. QCD is QCD except for small donation, which are allowed as trading expense. You don't get the deduction here, but QCD gets wasted a lot of times. So this we'll have to study, that what are the cases where QCD will get wasted. Okay. So that we'll have to study. In case of loss specifically, QCD will get wasted. So watch out for that. Then there are rules that you know how much of tax will be allowed. We'll be doing those rules. Don't worry, Neeraj. So there is an entire chapter on DTR. Okay. Mona, if there is something very specific which you cannot ask by writing, then only I can unmute you. Otherwise, we encourage you to write in the chat box. Otherwise, the recording might not be as perfect or as clear. You might want to listen to this again. So you don't want, if there is something very specific which you are not able to convey, I will unmute you. Don't worry. But try and ask whatever you want to ask in the chat box. I will unmute you. Don't worry about that. Once you're done noting this, please let me know. Yes, what about the others? Done? Okay, then whosoever is noted, fine. If you've not. Very good. Now coming to very simple concept of financial year and tax year. Financial year, just like in India, runs from 1st April to 31st March. And this is the calendar year. But don't confuse it with tax year for personal taxes. So personal tax year runs from 6th April to the 5th April, right? Now, a financial year is April to March. Now, if the AP is in 2 financial years, what will happen? So in that case, corporation tax liability must be calculated for each financial year separately, but it will not make a difference. Why do you will get these notes? Don't worry. Neeraj, if you're not able to copy, there is something important that I wanted you to copy is this. But it's okay, you'll get the notes. Don't worry. Don't take screenshot. You'll get the notes. All of these notes are going to be uploaded and you'll get it. In one single folder, you're going to get everything. So don't worry. Just focus on this. Okay. So suppose see if you are able to take screenshot, take a screenshot. Don't worry. If you're not able to take a screenshot, you'll get the notes. Don't worry. Why to worry? Suppose, so your financial year is from 1st of April 22 to 31st of March 23, right? But suppose your AP, so this is your financial year. This is my financial year. But my AP starts from 1st of July and ends on 30th of June 23. So this is now my accounting period, right? So you'll have to calculate separately for each financial year. You'll have to calculate the tax. But tell me, will there be any difference if you do it together or if you do it separately? Tell me. Is there going to be any difference? No, sir, because the rate of tax is 19% only. It has not been changed in the recent years. There's no change. Rate of tax remains at 19%. Okay. Is this clear? Yes. Yes, people. Is that clear? So rate of tax remains at 19%. Anji, please tell me. Very good. So if either of the following change, corporation tax rate, or if the rules have changed from 1 year to second year, then you'll have to calculate separately. Otherwise, it's okay. However, as the rate has been the same for last 4 financial year governing calculation, you will not need to split the calculation of corporation tax liability in the ATX exam. Okay. You will not need to split the years. Okay. Now next is payment of tax. So let's do one thing. Let's end it here. Today's class, I am also not well with my throat, but tomorrow we'll have a full-fledged till 9:30. Today I'm, as it is the first class, introductory class. So from tomorrow onwards, we'll take a full entire session till 9:30. Today also I'm not feeling well in my throat. So I'll try to rest today and be ready for tomorrow. I hope whatever we've done till now is clear to you. Yes. Anything that you want to ask me, you can ask me during the class only. If you are not able to ask during the class, you have my number. Okay, let me share my number with all of you. You can ask me there itself. You have it on the WhatsApp group, but I'll write it here also. This number you have on the WhatsApp group. But please stick to WhatsApp, preferably. If it is something so urgent that you need to call me, it's okay. You can call me as well. This is my phone. This is official, which is there. This is my personal also. Sir, last वाला ये वाला नहीं समझ आया. This you did not understand this. Surbi. Simple. Okay. What is your financial year? What is your financial year? 1st April to 31st March. Suppose your accounting period starts on 1st of July and this year and ends on 30th June next year, which is again 12 months, right? So what you will need to do, if there is a change of rate of tax, which is not there, 19% it is from past many years. So, or if there is a change in rules itself, if there is an entire change in rules, then you need to split it. Okay, you need to split this and calculate the tax separately for these 2 periods. Okay, you need to do a split. If there is, if change in rate of tax or rules. Otherwise, you don't need to split. Otherwise, you can keep calculating it at 19%. Yes, in UK, we have taken from UK only. No? Very few things we have done original. We've taken from UK only. Okay, this is my personal number. So anytime you guys have a problem, you can drop a text. No, you can split it on the basis of your, you just calculate the profit and split on the basis of time. Then there are rules about chargeable gain as well. So we'll do that separately, but you don't need to split. Okay. You don't need to split because rate of tax has not changed. Neither have the rules. So nothing, both of them have not changed. So don't need to split it. Okay, Neeraj. Very good. Now this you can drop me a text if you think you have something to ask, something important that you need to ask. This is official. Stick to this. In case you are unable to reach me on this, you can reach me on this number. Okay. Clear. So yes, this will be it. I'll see you guys tomorrow and we'll move on from this. So just share everything on the group. This entire whatever we have studied, share it on the group. Surbhi, have I cleared your doubt? Very good. Anyone who's got that doubt about whatever we've done today? When are we going to end our this thing? When is the syllabus going to end? Around mid of May, 10th, 10 to 15th of May. Okay. And we might be taking extra classes in May. So be ready for that as well. Where you will get notes, just a minute. I'm just going to share. Sandeep is going to share a folder with you. You'll get all the notes over there. Okay. Don't worry. Which publisher you can follow BPP? No problem. You can follow any publisher. Yes, you can leave now. I'm just sending the notes.